Something I found very interesting was the wide-ranging impact of the AIDS epidemic on kind of our main characters, as a lot of them suffer from AIDS. And for me, it was just something that I never really understood as a real issue. I didn't really understand it was in America as much, or as widespread. But not only just the fact that it obviously kills people, but also just kind of the feeling that like its victims are living on borrowed times and their inability to really live. One value is kind of the seen in this group in Rent is kind of the YOLO, you only live once thing, as you see all these people with HIV giving limited times, and they have a HIV support group, and even Mimi sings a song to Roger, um, that you only live once, and this bad news, this disease can't stop you from living your life. Another value is friendship, as the friends will basically do anything to be together, and they don't have any money, they don't I mean, they barely have food. They don't have heat. Most of them have diseases, and like especially Mark, who's sad because he's one of the few that doesn't have HIV, and so he's going to live, and his friends are all going to die around him. And Benny is kind of seen as bad because he kind of betrays the friends. Something I didn't really understand was the poverty aspect of New York, just because you kind of see Times Square, Empire State Building. You don't really understand how much these people are poor, and the drug use and the disease that runs rampant in kind of these poor areas. And after research, I was able to go through basically these people are living with no comfort, they have no money, they're getting evicted, they're living in tents, and then even more, the use of drugs was almost more to cope with the despair of having AIDS. The diversity issue I thought was lower class. I think Rent shows these people are people just like us. They have dreams, but they keep being brought down by different things, whether it's drug use, whether it's AIDS, whether it's just the overall poverty. It's hard to get ahead. I think this speaks to today's homeless issues about showing them as people who are being kind of, in a way, held down by society when they really could just use a helping hand to kind of achieve their dreams. The song I chose One Song Glory, which is one of Roger's opening songs. And basically is showing Roger doesn't want to die without being remembered. He feels like he's got limited time due to having AIDS. So he needs to do something now to be remembered to get his glory. Um, and he basically isn't really living because he feels like his life is wasted and he can't do anything. And I think his friends and Mimi help him remember to live. Um, my questions were, why is Joanne with Maureen? She just seems to be a bad girlfriend. Even Mark agrees. They do the Tango Maureen and talk about how she's a little crazy, and I don't really understand why you would be with someone like that. And then another is, do you blame Benny for betraying his friends when he was in their shoes and he managed to rise above the poverty, but now he has to do things a certain way? So do you blame him for that?